the verb practice, so get the verb sheet out, and if you have the written conjugations that you wrote, if you have them, you can look at those too when we're doing the practice. Okay, and then we'll do the homework. Inshallah. We're doing practice with verbs. Okay, so we're gonna pick a verb. We're gonna go down. We're gonna say all of the conjugations. You can look at your notes if you have them written down. I don't have time to write all of them. Let's pick one from the first column. Let's do najaha. Where's najaha? Let's do nazala. So nazala is in the second column. Okay. Nazala. Nazala means what? Descended, right? He descended or he came down. Okay. All right. So ready? Nazala. Nazala. Okay, how about this? I'll say the pronouns and you guys say all of them. Okay, so huwa. So you say nazala. Okay, if I say huma, you say nazala. Sorry, hum. Nazalu. Hiya. Nazalat with a ta with sukun. Huma. Nazalata. And then hunna. Nazalna. Nazalna, right? So don't forget that when you get to the hunna, yeah. When you get to the sixth pronoun, the hunna, the third root will get a sukun. So you say nazalna. Okay, so what for anta? Nazalta. Antuma. Nazaltuma. Right? So nazalta, nazaltuma. Okay. Antuma. Right? And then antum. Nazartum. Okay. Anti. And antuma. Antunna. Nazartunna. And then ana. And nahnu. Nazalna. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's this time I won't say the pronouns, so we'll just do it. How about sharaha? Sharaha is in the third column. Sharaha means he explained. Okay, so go after me. Sharaha, sharaha, sharahu, sharahat, sharahata, sharahna, sharahta, شرحتما شرحتم شرحتي شرحتما شرحتن شرحت شرحنا. Okay, I explained. شرحت. She explained. شرحت. He explained. Okay, they explained. A group of them men. Sharahu. Sharahu. Okay. Let's do one more. Kasara. In the second column. Kasara means he broke. Okay. Ready? Kasara. Kasara. Kasaru. Kasarat. Kasarata. Kasarna. Kasarta. كسرتما كسرتم كسرتي كسرتما كسرتن كسرت كسرنا. Okay. I broke. كسرت. She broke. كسرت. Okay. He broke. They broke. Kasaru. They broke. They broke kasaru. It's okay. We're gonna keep doing them, inshallah. And what you should do is that just pick one or two every day, and then just do the whole thing. Okay? It takes like 30 seconds. Who thinks they can do all 14 by themselves? Brother Afnan.
Yes, inshallah.
How about you do لعب? He played, so it's in the fifth column.
لعب
Mhm.
لعب لعبوا لعبت لعبتا لعبنا
MashaAllah.
لعب لعبت
Good.
لعبتما
Mhm.
لعبتم
Mhm.
لعبتي لعبتما لعبتن لعبنا لعبت لعبنا
لعبت لعبنا. Okay. She played.
لعبت
لعبت. Okay. You male played.
لعبت لعبت
لعبت. Okay. Who wants to do it? Who wants to do another one? All by themselves. How about you, brother Najmul? You up for it?
Same.
No, different one. Do the third one in the second column. Arafa. Arafa is he knew. So do Arafa.
Arafa,
Mhm.
Arafa,
Mhm.
Arafu,
Mhm.
Arafat,
Mhm.
Arafata,
Yep.
Arafatunna,
Arafna.
Arafna,
Okay.
Arafna, Arafat, Arafata,
So you knew Arafta.
Yunu, Arafta,
Okay. Keep going.
Araftuma,
Good.
Arafti,
Araftum.
Araftum,
Yep.
Arafti, Araftuma,
Yep.
Araftum, Tunna,
Tunna.
Araftu, Arafna,
Good. Okay. He knew.
Arafat,
She knew.
Arafat,
Okay. You knew. Male.
Arafatu, Arafta.
Arafta. Okay. Who else? Sister Tahira?
yeah, I can do
Okay.
same.
Do all of them for Jama'a. So Jama'a is in the third column. It means he gathered. Go ahead.
Jama,
Mhm.
Jama,
Mhm.
Jama'u,
Good.
Jama'at,
Mhm.
Jama'ata,
Good.
Jama'na,
Jama'na. Good.
Jama'ta,
Good.
Jama'tuma,
Mhm.
Jama'tum,
Good.
Jama'ti,
Good.
Jama'tuma,
Mhm.
Jama'tuma, Tunna,
Good.
Jama'tu,
Mhm.
Jama'na.
MashaAllah. I gathered.
Uh, Jama'tu,
Jama'atu. I gathered. How about they gathered a group of men?
Jama'tu,
Jama.
Jama'u,
Jama'u. Okay. Jama'u. So do these once every day or like every day. Just do two. Okay. And then you'll know you'll pick up the verbs and then you will know how to say them. Okay. All right. Let's do the homework. Who didn't get the homework? I think you weren't here, right? Actually, can you look with him, or do you have it? Oh, okay. So I'll just do it and I'll give it back to you. I'll give it to you later. All right. So this one was the same thing as the one for Monday, but it was a different word. All right. So for Beitu, you just have to attach all of the pronouns to all of the to Beitu. Okay. Paul, go ahead. Yep. Mhm. 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 Yep. Your house. Beituka. Mhm. 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 My house. Yep. Beituna. Our house. Beituna. Okay. Yusuf, go ahead and do the second column. So you're doing fi and then beitihi, and then attach it for all the pronouns. Yep. Did you say huma or hima? So why is it not huma? So you say fi baytihi, right? Even though it's by itself, it's baytu hu, baytu hu. But when you attach a fi in front of it, the tu becomes a ti. So the hu changes to a he. So that happens for 5 pronouns. Huwa is one, huma is another one, huma, and then hunna. Okay. So instead of fi bayti huma, it's fi bayti hima. Fi bayti hima.
So fi baytihima, fi baytihim,
Okay.
fi baytiha,
So in that one, it doesn't change, right? In that one, it doesn't change.
fi baytina,
Okay.
fi baytihinna,
Okay.
fi baytika,
Yep.
fi baytikuma,
Mhm.
fi baytikum,
Yep.
fi baytihi,
Yep.
fi baytikuma,
Mhm.
fi baytikunna,
Yep.
fi bayti,
Yep.
fi baytina.
In house, fi baytina. Okay. Any questions? All right. Brother Afnan, go ahead for the next column. So you're attaching li to all of them. So in this case, what happens to li? It becomes la, right? So in this one, you use li if you're like attaching it to like a proper name or anything else, like li Hamidin. Okay, to Hamid, you use li Hamidin. But if you're saying to him with a pronoun, the li becomes a la. It becomes lahu. Okay, go ahead.
له
Yep.
لهما
Yep.
لهم
Yep.
لها لهما لهن لك لكما لكم لكي لكما لكن لي
So li is the only one where it changes back to li because the ya mutakallam drags it down.
لنا
Lana. So for lana, you just go back to the la. Okay. For B, Brother Nazmur.
Bihi,
Bihi, right? So in this one, the rule is when there is a ya with a sukoon or a kasra followed by, preceding the attached pronouns, then you get, then the who changes to a he. So instead of bihu, it changes to bihi. And for all those 5 ones. Go ahead.
bi, bihima, bihim,
Mhm.
biha,
Biha.
bihima, bihinna,
Mhm.
bika,
Yep.
bikuma,
Mhm.
bikum, biki, bikuma, bikunna, bi,
Bi.
bi, and bina.
Bina. Right? Bina. Okay. Brother Anwar, next one.
Yeah, this has no ya or b or lam, so it will be straight. So like anhu,
Anhu.
anhuma,
Yep.
anhum,
Mhm.
anhuma,
Anha.
anha, anhuma,
Yep.
anhunna,
Mhm.
anka,
Mhm.
ankuma, ankum, anki, ankuma, ankunna, anni.
Anni. So in this
Anni.
one,
This has a ya, that's why it's the anni.
so you can't have, you have a noon with a sukoon followed by a ya with a sukoon. So the 2 sukoons, they're not compatible. So basically what you do is you take one sukoon, you take the noon and you put a shadda on it. So you say anni.
Anni. And this is the last one is ana.
Anna.
Anna.
Same thing. Anna. So you have 2 sukoons, right? Okay. And then Inda, Brother Ala.
Yeah, I don't have the actual worksheet.
Oh, okay. You don't. Yeah. Sister Alia, do you have it? Sister Shireen. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Indi. Indana. Indana, right? Okay, ma'a. So basically, we're just going through the last one is ma'a, Sister Tahira.
معه
Mhm.
معهما
Yep.
معهم
Mhm.
معها معهما معهن
Mhm.
معك
Yep.
معكن
So that was there for practice. Basically, this stuff is gonna come in book 2, but it was mostly book 1. Any questions? If you didn't have it, you can. Did I email it? I don't think so. But it was in the handouts for the book 1, so you can download it, print it off, and then you can do it by yourself. I think so, yeah. All right. So I'm talking about the book 1 handouts. So it's on the LQ Toronto website. This is where it's from. So they have a section for handouts that they made themselves, and then they hand it out. So there's a PDF for it. And then this is page 13. You can.
I was looking over the handouts for book 2 and 3, so that's why.
Oh, okay, yeah. This was, yeah, I said book 1.
Let's make some about that.
So for book 2, does everybody have it? Yes. Yeah, mine has coffee stains. It's chai stains. Never mind. So basically, what we'll do is we'll start in the back where they introduce the lesson in English, and we're probably not going to get to the dialogue today because it's a pretty big lesson. Lesson 1 is like 1, 2, 3, like 3 pages, okay, and it's like pretty heavy. So we'll get through 1 or 2 today, and then we'll. Actually, so Friday they have the class with Sheikh Wahid Kasmini. Who's going to that? Okay. The fiqh of dua. Yeah. So Friday is he's gonna be here and he's gonna do it from 7 to 10. It's like fiqh of dua and dhikr. So I was planning on going to that too. So I'm thinking that we'll just cancel class and have it on Monday.
Free, Brother Hassan?
Yeah, it's on Friday. He's gonna be here, so anyone can come. So what we'll do is I'll give the homework for today, and then we'll meet on Monday.
Are you going to Saturday and Sunday as well?
I might be. I'm not 100% sure. I have some other stuff going on. Yeah, for Friday it's gonna be in the masjid, right? I think on Saturday and Sunday it's somewhere else.
Usually it's paid, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Saturday, Sunday. But for Friday, because we have the class, and it's going to be at the same time as his thing. No, he's going to have it 7 to 10.
Oh, so instead of insisting the beginning in the Friday that will be here
Yeah.
instead. Oh,
So they're going to go before Maghrib, between Maghrib and Isha, and after Isha. So yeah, we won't have class on Friday, inshallah. Okay. So lesson 1 introduces like one of the most common words in the Quran, which is inna. So is inna does it look like a verb? No. Okay. Does it look like a noun? Could be. But it's a particle. Okay. So it's a harf. All right. Okay. And it's a particle of emphasis, right? So they call it harf al-tawkid, which means a particle to emphasize something, right? So you always hear it in the Quran, and these are things that Allah is emphasizing, right? Inna Allah ghafurur rahim, things like that. Okay. So it's to give something just added emphasis. Instead of just saying Allahu ghafurur rahim, if If you add inna to it, you're making it, you're giving it more emphasis, you're giving it more oomph. Okay. But before they do that, they explain the jumla ismiya and jumla fi'liya. So let's review that. So who wants to read? Do you have the book? Okay. So go ahead and read number 1.
In this lesson, we learned the following. In Arabic, there are two types of sentences. The nominal sentence, al-jamlatu al-ismiyatu, wherein the first word is a noun. In other words, al-kitabu,
Al-kitabu sahlun. Right, so this is what we said. There's two sentences. There's nominal sentence and verbal sentence. What does the nominal sentence always begin with? Noun, right? So it's a jumla ismiya. It begins with an ism. So al-kitabu sahlun. The book is easy. So anytime something begins with a noun, it's a jumla ismiya. Okay. Keep going.
The book is easy. The noun which commences the nominal sentence is called the mubtada.
Yep.
While the second part is called the khabar.
Right. So this is all back to book 1, right? Mubtada khabar. Anytime you have a jumla ismiya, you have a subject, and what's the khabar called in English?
News.
Predicate or news. Okay. So you have always those two components. Okay. What about verbal sentence? Go ahead.
The verbal sentence, jamlatu al-fa'liyatu, wherein the first word is a verb. For example, kharaja Bilal. Bilal went out.
Okay. So in this case, you have a verbal sentence, and you have kharaja Bilal. So kharaja is a verb. So the sentence you would classify it as jumla fi'liya. Jumla fi'liya. Okay. So basically, keep that in mind. In this book, all throughout reading it, whenever you're reading something, figure out, okay, is this sentence beginning with a verb or a noun? Okay. All right, go ahead.
The particle inna is used at the beginning of a nominal sentence.
Okay, so notice how they say there it's a particle. So it's a harf. It's not an ism. It's not a fi'l. It's a harf. And they say that it comes in the beginning of what type of sentences? Nominal sentences. Right, so you're going to use it with nominal sentences. Okay, nominal sentences. And what did they just say about nominal sentences? They have two parts, right? What are they? Mubtada and khabar. So you have mubtada and khabar. Okay. But what happens is that when inna comes along, it's going to slightly change the sentence from a mubtada and a khabar. So it's going to change it slightly. How?
The particle inna is used as inna kitabu sahlun.
Inna kitaba sahlun.
Inna kitaba sahlun.
Okay.
Note that the noun after inna is mansub. In other words, in the accusative case. After the introduction of inna, the mubtada is no longer called mubtada, but instead it is called ismu inna, and the khabar is called khabaru inna.
Okay. So they just throw a whole bunch of stuff at you. There's really 3 things that they said. Okay. So, all right here, al-kitabu. So they said the first thing they said is that the noun that follows inna is mansoob. What's mansoob? Well, the fatha, right? So let's go over this again. What's 2 dhammas or 1 dhamma? Marfu'. What's 2 fathas or 1 fatha? Mansoob. And then 2 kasras or 1 kasra? Majroor. Okay. So every noun by default is marfu'. How does it become majroor? A harf jar, right? So if I say fil kitabi, right, that's a harf jar. What about a mudaf ilayhi, right? So someone's book, so kitabu Muhammadin, right? So that will make it a majroor. Okay. What about mansoob? What did we learn? how you make things mansub.
If it's the object of the sentence.
If it's an object of a sentence, right? So if you say uhibbu, whatever the object is, I love something, that something becomes mansub. So this is we're learning that after inna, the noun that follows inna is also mansub. Is also gets a fatha. Okay? So you say innal kitaba. Okay? You can always remember this. Oh, what about the word that follows it? Does it change? So go back to the sentence, the example, innal kitaba sahlun. Did sahlun change? No, right? So sahlun stays the same. Sahlun. So you started off with al-kitabu sahlun. The only thing that changed is that you added an inna, and then the kitabu changes to al-kitaba. Okay, so this is they're showing you how the sentence changes with inna. Okay, you can always remember this. You always read in the Quran. Inna Allah ha. You never hear inna Allahu, inna Allahi. Always inna Allaha Ghafurur Rahim or whatever. Okay. So keep that in mind. Every time you forget what happens after inna, just remember the ayah. Inna Allaha Ghafurur Rahim.
So why do we say inna Allaha wa inna ilayhi raji'un?
Oh,
Inna ilayhi.
ooh, that's a good. So that's also inna, but oh man, we're skipping a little bit ahead. I actually want to hold off on this until the end. But I'll explain it really quickly. You say inna lillahi. You say lillahi because there's actually a lam of harf jar there. So whenever you have li plus Allahu, you put it all in one word. This is just a spelling. This is just a way to spell it. So you say lillahi. Okay? Instead of keeping it separate, you just say lillahi. So really, it's lillahi because of the lam. Okay? But the most of the ayahs you see are like inna Allaha ghafurur rahim, inna Allaha azizun hakim, inna Allaha tawwabun ghafur, whatever. Okay? So basically, I'm just saying that just so that you can have that in mind. Okay? And also you remember ghafurur rahim, right? So the khabar part of it stays marfu. Okay, it stays the way it is. All right, so that's one part of the change. The second part of the change is actually two parts. They say that the mubtada changes and the khabar changes. So the way that you say the term changes. So what does the mubtada become? Ismu inna. So ismu inna. Okay, and what does the khabar become? Khabru inna. So you have a slight difference in the terminology. So this is only a change in the terminology. Okay, and this is a change in the morphology, like they say. So you're changing the structure of the sentence. Here you're changing the terms. So instead of saying, like you wouldn't say, inna al-kitaba sahlun, al-kitab is the mubtada and the sahlun is the khabar. You can't say that. You have to say, inna is a harf tawqid, is a particle of emphasis. Al-kitaba ismu inna. And then sahlun is khabar inna. That's it. That's the change. But we're not doing like sentence analysis. If you watch the LP Toronto videos, they do sentence analysis, so they have to stop and say, okay, this word means this, or grammatically is what this is. So I'm not putting that much emphasis on that, but just know that that's what does happen. Okay. Keep reading.
Inna signifies emphasis. It can be translated as indeed, surely, no doubt, and verily. Note the following. If the mubtada has one dhamma, it changes to one fatha after inna. Example, inna al-mudarrasa.
So read the al-mudarrisu jadidun first.
Al-mudarrisu jadidun. Inna al-mudarrasa jadidun.
Okay, if you don't have a fatha on the mudarris after the inna, put a fatha on it. So they're saying al-mudarrisu with one dhamma changes to inna al-mudarrisu. Sa with one fatha. Okay, second example.
آمنة طالبة. إن آمنة طالبة.
Okay, inna aminata talibatun. So the amina, because the why is amina have only one fatha, only one dhamma? It's a feminine noun, right? It's also what's the term in book one that they said? Diptote. In Arabic, it's called mamnu'un
ممنوع التصرف.
mamnu' min as-sarf. Mamnu' min as-sarf. Almost. So amina too has one dhamma and it's mamnu' min as-sarf. But so if you put an inna in front of amina, it will just change into one fatha. Okay. I read the next part.
If the مبتدأ has two dhammas, they change to fathas. حامد مريد.
Maridun.
مريد.
What does that mean?
حامد is sick.
Hamid is sick, so make it with inna.
إن حامدا مريد.
Inna hamidan maridun. Okay. So in this case, what would hamidun be grammatically? The grammatic term is hamidan.
Oh,
Ismu
اسمه
inna. And then maridun would be
Khabar.
khabar inna. So basically, the inna links the mubtada and khabar, and then it becomes part of the. So these two terms, they become part related to the inna. So you have always an ism inna and a khabar inna. Okay.
So this inna is changing to fatha, but khabar we don't have to match with that grammatically, right?
No, khabar doesn't change. Khabru inna can say whatever it is. Okay. Let's go to the next page.
If the مبتدأ,
Yeah, go ahead.
if the مبتدأ is a pronoun, it changes to its corresponding mansub form. أنت غنية.
Ghaniyun.
غني. إنك غني.
Okay, this is like the slightly confusing part. When you have pronouns that you want to use with inna, so you're gonna use the attachable pronouns. Okay, so anta ghaniyun means you are rich, right? So if you want to say indeed you are rich, or verily you are rich, or surely you are rich, you can't say inna anta. Doesn't make sense like that. You always say innaka. Innaka. Okay? Go ahead.
So you're saying is you don't say inna, you say innaka.
Yeah, so you attach it with any time. Hold on, we'll go through this one. So finish reading, and then we'll.
Okay, for the mansub forms of all pronouns, see exercise 3 in the main book. Note that the pronouns of the first person singular and plural have two forms.
Actually, skip that. So let me explain this a little bit. All right.
It's like the rule didn't make sense for what they did there.
The rule makes sense.
It did not. It's like it changes to the. It says it changed to the mansub form,
Yes.
but it looks like it changed the entire pronoun.
Yeah.
Not
So
what-
basically, it becomes attached. You cannot use it with a pronoun separately. It
what do you
becomes
mean by
attached.
mansub form?
It just means that it's mansub. That pronoun will be. Okay, let me. So like if you say huwa qaribun. Okay. Qaribun. Okay, he's close. Okay, so huwa is a pronoun, right? It doesn't change in a pronoun. So if you had to say, is this marfu, mansub, or majrur, what would it be? No, it's not actually. It's marfu because it doesn't change. So don't. So it's basically an exception. It's not like a regular noun like Hamidun or Muhammadun. Just because it has a fatha at the end does not mean it's mansub. It's a pronoun. It has different rules. Okay. So this is marfu and it's unchanged. Okay. But when you add an inna in front of it, inna, you can't say inna huwa. So you have to the mansub form, basically we're saying is that this goes from marfu' to mansub. The mansub form is just the attached form.
All pronounced
So
by,
we, I'm sorry.
How do you pronounce it?
now just wondering if all pronouns by default are marfu,
No, no.
just like noun.
See, so what's the difference between huwa and who?
Attached and detached.
It's attached and detached. Attached and detached. Detached, you would say is marfu'. Attached is going to be mansub or majrur.
Oh, okay, so that's
Or
something,
majrur.
that's something we didn't cover.
Yeah, and it's not really important. I didn't mention it just because it's not really important. All you have to know is that when you attach inna with a pronoun, you use the attachable form.
Or the mansub.
Yes. So what are all the attachable pronouns? So you have who. What's attaching? What's after who for attachable?
Yeah.
Huma,
Oh, huma.
hum, and then
a,
ha,
huma,
huma,
hunna,
hunna,
ka,
ka,
huma,
huma,
hum,
huma, kum,
he,
ki,
huma,
kuma,
hunna,
kunna,
ya,
ya, and then
na.
na. Okay, so let's do, so we just said huwa qaribun, right? Huwa qaribun. Okay, so if I want to add inna to it, what am I going to say? Innahu qaribun. So I look at the pronoun that is attachable form of it, and then I just attach inna to it. Innahu qaribun. Indeed, he is close. What if this was hiya? So hiya qaribatun. Okay, so she is near. What if I want to say attach inna to it? Innaha qaribatun. Innaha. So I'm going to say innaha. It's going to look like this. Okay. What if I said anta qaribun? You are near. Innaka qaribun. Right. So you, I just take the ka, attach it to inna. Innaka qaribun. Indeed, you are near. Okay. Sorry. No. So what changes to mansub is the ismu inna. Okay. If when I say innaka, okay. So we're still looking at this part. So this sentence has three parts. One is the inna part. One is the ismu inna part, which is mansub. And then there's the khabar inna part. So where is the inna? If I say circle the inna, you're just gonna circle the inna. Okay. What's the ka?
As
Not the mubtada, the
Mubtada,
ism
ism.
inna. So instead of saying mubtada, you say ismu inna and it's mansub. It doesn't look like it's mansub because it's just a one letter, but it's mansub. Okay. What's the qaribun? Khabar inna. Khabar inna doesn't change. Okay.
I got a question. So you said that the basically the pronouns, if they're attached, they're either mansub or majrur. So what is the majrur part for that?
What is the majrur part? So if I have min as-sin, what does min as-sin mean?
From China.
From China, right? Min as-sini. What if I say from there? So I would say minhu or min al-hindi, minhu. Okay. So in this case you have a harf jar followed by an ism majrur. The ism in this case is an attached pronoun. It's slightly confusing the first time you hear about it. So min is harf jar, right? Hu is ism majrur, but it's an attached pronoun.
So in this case, we will consider it majrur.
Yes, even though there's no kasra under it. So this this part, this rule, is mostly for the fact that something will end in dhamma, fatha, kasra. Um, this is mostly for just nouns by themselves. Yeah. So if I have Muhammadun, I can have Muhammadan, Muhammadin, right? But things can be mansoob other than these reasons. It's a little bit confusing right now, but don't worry about it.
So if you put a min inna before it, it will become inna ki minhu.
You're combining two different sentences. All right. But for now,
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so for now, basically, all I'm trying to say is that you have, whenever you have something like a pronoun and you want to put inna in front of it, just use this form. Don't worry if is it mansoob, is it marfu. Don't worry about this part right now.
So for key, do you say in the key or you still
Yes.
say in the
You would say, so if you say anti qaribatun, okay? If I want to add inna in front of for anti qaribatun, you're going to say innaki. Innaki qaribatun. Okay? Don't worry what part is mansoob, what part is majrur.
His brain will be puzzled.
How would you say surely is from China?
Okay. How do you say it is from China?
Huwa min as-Sini. Huwa min as-Sini.
Fran said it. So huwa, you add inna in front of it, the huwa goes away, and what do you get?
Mansoob form.
Don't say mansoob, just say hu.
Innahu.
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 Innahu min as-sin.
Do people say inna in spoken Arabic?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it's for emphasis, like I said. All right, and they'll especially use it with qala. Qala inna whatever. So he said, you always use qala and inna together.
Inna is indeed, isn't it?
Yes.
I have heard the Arabs saying wallahi. What does that mean? Is that it?
Wallahi is I swear by Allah. So this is a wow. It doesn't mean and. It's a wow al qasam. So it's for taking oaths.
Wallahi.
All right. So before how much time? We have 10 minutes. So what if I said?
Realize that example you said from there.
Yeah.
You said minhu, it should be min hunak.
No, we're using minasin. All right. So what if I said I am ana qaribun? Okay. What if I want to say put inna in front of it? Inni. Or there's two ways to say it. So I can say inni with noon with a shadda, inni, or I can say innani. The Quran uses both. So there's two noons here and there's one noon here. Innani and inni. They're both the same. Inni and innani. Okay? The same thing. So inni qaribun, right? وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. Allah says, فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. Indeed, I am near. And then you also hear innani.
Or innana.
So for what if it was nahnu? So let's use nahnu.
Nah.
Nahnu qaribun. Right? We have to use plural, right? So don't forget this part. Qaribun. Nahnu qaribun. We are near. So attach inna to it. What do you get?
Nah.
Inna. So with noon with a shadda, or you can say innana. Innana. So this is just for ana and nahnu, where you have two forms and they're both valid. Innana or inna.
Innana makes sense, but in me, why is in nani? There is no noon.
Yeah, it's just how the Arabs say it. So the homework I'm gonna give it for Monday. Okay. So go to lesson 1 after the dialogue. So the exercises, the first exercise is with the dialogue, so we can't do it. The second exercise, skip it. The third one where it says تأمل ما يلي, okay? This explains what we just did right here. So read them and write them. So exercise 3, read it and write it. That's part 1 of the homework. Yeah, exercise 3, تأمل means to ponder. تأمل ما يلي, ponder what follows. They're just attaching the inna to all of the pronouns. Okay. In this case, they only use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 out of 14, but we did all 14. Okay. So do number 3. Do number 4. So it says أدخل inna على الجملة الآتية. Put inna in the following sentences. So the first one is huwa tajirun. How do you put inna in front of it, make it a sentence? Innahu tajirun, right? What about ana talibun? Inni talibun. That's basically it. Okay, so write those out with inna. And then read number 5, which is basically the same thing. And do number 6. A lot of homework.
Wow.
This is book 2. We're no longer in primary school. This book is chock full of exercises, so we're gonna get our fair share. So exercise 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the homework.
For Friday?
Monday.
Monday.
So do one every day for until the next 4 days. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم.